How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Twigger here with another High ELO Champions game featuring probably one of the most underused champions in the League of Legends right now, Quinn and Valor. This guy, Thunderstorm, spelt in a very odd way, actually played a ton of Quinn back in Season 3, so I'm looking forward to see at least if Quinn is going to be played here. It should be played at the highest caliber I'm going to see a Quinn play at, but going up against a Sona and a Caitlyn lane with Leona as his support. Pretty standard lane, I have to say. Sona and Caitlyn. Sona's been played a little bit less in the high ELO scene, but Caitlyn definitely a pick that's been happening all over the world in the LCS. But I'm going to start this game off looking currently like there's an invade going on from this Elise, the Sona, and the Caitlyn, which Quinn and Leona are just about to find. I'm actually just going to lower my sounds a little bit here. It's coming a little bit loud on my headphones. There we go. Hopefully that'll be good. But it looks like we did have a successful invade, at least picking that red buff up from the Fiddlesticks, who of course is going to be starting blue. And Fiddlesticks getting actually incredibly low from that blue buff, so he will finally be able to take that one. But after a little bit of criticism from the previous High ELO Champion games, I'm going to be sticking mostly to this bottom lane, just to see exactly how Quinn ends up playing. Why would just stop the direct to camp? Thank you very much. A lot of you recommended as a suggestion to stick to the lane, which I am having the featured matchup, just to see kind of how they farm their minions, how they play against their lane counterparts. So I think this will be the perfect time to kind of see exactly how Quinn and Leona are going to play against a Caitlyn Sona, which is a very poke-heavy lane. And you have somebody like Leona who's more of an all-in champion, but I'm also going to not only focus on this bottom lane, but also try to take a look at my minimap to see when invades are happening, when kills might be coming up. And we're just having a fight right up here, Elise taking on this Fiddle, getting the red buff proc on. Fiddle actually didn't even get the red buff, so the first blood's going down to the Elise. So she's going to be a bit stronger than the Fiddlesticks, and Fiddlesticks losing his blue buff, which is mightily unfortunate as a Fiddlesticks jungle. But, that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to try to look at the people's health bars to still give you the action of the game, but focus on the featured matchup in this game, which is our Quinn versus our Caitlyn. But Quinn, definitely not a champion that we see, I wouldn't even say often at all. It's like, I don't think I've ever really seen it in the LCS. I remember Mandatory Cloud played it once in the spring split in Season 3, simply as a mid laner, not even as an AD carry, so even that's a bit different. But it looks like we did have a kill up in that mid lane. Ziggs taking down the Fizz. Looks like a pretty even exchange there. The Ignite from the Fizz not being enough to take down the barrier of the Ziggs. But we're seeing a lot of play coming out of Leona recently. It's much more prominent, I find, with people like N-Rated and with people like Crepo, who really mained Leona and have very, very strong Leona play. Leona's a very, very strong support champion, offering a absolute ton of CC, which we're going to see now with the Great Zenith Blade, the shield going down. Leona is very strong at level 3. That is normally when she wants to engage, but taking just way too much poke from that one, not having the tankiness that she really needs, and Quinn not being able to follow up with a lot of damage. So just going to focus in on this Quinn a little bit. Her Q does do a little bit of AoE damage, applies that silence, which is certainly not a bad thing, but against the Caitlyn, who's much more of an auto-attack champion, it's not really going to be the most useful tool. But it looks like we're going to have a gank down in the bot lane here. The ward coming out of the Leona, but not going to see the Elise that's currently hanging down in the brush. At least one of the best tower divers in the game. Quinn taking a bit of damage. The Caitlyn trap is out. They're going to try to avoid that one. The Quinn is going to go down very quickly. Caitlyn taking down as much turret shots as she can. The Zenith Blade coming out, though. I don't think this is going to be enough. The Ignite is down and the barrier is out, but it's not going to be enough to actually kill the Caitlyn. But the Sona going down to an execute from the turret, so just spent a little bit too much time out of that turret. Kind of an interesting thing to see. Elise is one of the best turret dive champions in the game, simply because when she goes into spider form, she can repel and drop all of that turret aggro. Looks like we have a kill happening in this top lane. The flash coming out of the Riven to try to pick up that kill, but it's actually not going to get the Teemo. And that's going to be a kill up in the top lane for the Teemo. So there's quite a few kind of unconventional picks up in this game. Having Teemo up in the top lane, don't see him very frequently. And Fizz has been played a lot less frequently. He's come up a couple times, but certainly not a standard pick anymore by any means. And the Fiddlesticks jungle has only come up a couple times. But, you know, it's a lot tougher for a Fiddlesticks jungle if you don't get that first blue buff. He got the first blue buff and had it taken away from him very, very quickly from the failed invade and the Elise finding that one out. But in terms of CS right now, Caitlyn having a pretty good lead, 34-24, so that 10 CS lead at only 6 minutes into the game. Leona going for the pretty standard melee support item, but oh, here we go. Here's a bit of an engage. Few stuns going down, the Q landing from Quinn, but really not doing a ton of damage. That Q only really having a plus 23 attack damage, so not really doing a whole lot of damage in terms of, well, in terms of damage, I would say, but Leona, one of those champions, as a melee support, having that shield is huge. The Relic Shield providing a ton more gold to both her and to Quinn. So though they are behind a bit in CS, that 5 CS that Leona has was hopefully Relic Shield procs that will be going towards Quinn as well, and maintaining kind of their CS in lane. But as we can probably see in the gold, we're not actually going to talk about that yet because we have a gank going, well, not a gank, an attack going down from the Leona. But once again, Sona and Caitlyn just being able to poke these guys off of the attack. And while all this was going on, Elise just soloed the dragon. She's that far ahead, already having her Spirit of the Ancient Golem. It's this is going to be a tricky position for Leona and Quinn unless they go back. They do know that Elise was just kind of hanging around there, so they're just kind of chill by their lane and kind of hope for the best that Elise goes away. They currently have no knowledge of where she is, but we're going to find out in just a second while Elise comes up into this mid lane to try to attack this Fizz. Don't know if she's actually going to be able to manage to get anything. His Playful Trickster has not yet been used, but it's just going to walk away from that one. No real damage threat coming out of the Elise quite yet. She's just more tanky than anything. But Leona trying her best to get these engages onto either the Sona or the Caitlyn. Caitlyn being the preferred target here. But they just lack the damage right now. Caitlyn does have her attack speed going while Quinn has the Vampiric Scepter. Just kind of showing that Caitlyn is a little bit more on the offensive while Quinn is really looking for that sustainability in lane because they're currently getting just bullied out with the poke coming out of Sona and Caitlyn. They're just going to sit here and try to take as many of the minions as they can, try to farm underneath the turret, but Kate is a notorious turret pusher. But looks like we actually might have a fight going down in the top lane. Just going to look at this one for a second. Teemo getting ulted on by Fiddlesticks and by Riven. That's going to be a very easy kill. So finally, first blood going for the blue team, and by first blood, I mean their first kill of the game in comparison to the 5 on the purple team. So at least some things are starting to work out. Fiddlesticks now with his ultimate is a much more proficient ganker, where normally he just has to try to run in lane and catch up to somebody before he can fear them. But you can just see how scared Leona and Quinn are in this lane, running all the way back, just allowing Kate and Sona to bully them completely, push them out of the turret. They're not even getting experience for these minions that are dying to the turret, and it looks like they're just going to try to take these golems to try to keep their CS even remotely in range of the Caitlyn, but currently 71-33. It's a huge difference in favor of this Sona Caitlyn, which is a more standard lane combination. So maybe we're seeing the power of that lane. Gank going down in the mid lane too. Zig's taking a lot of damage. Currently not going down yet, but is going to go down. Fiddlesticks picking up that kill, and now is going to run away from the Elise. Elise might actually be able to dive this one. The health drain is coming out of the Fiddlesticks. Elise is going to try to wait for this one to end, but it looks like it actually is going to be enough for the Elise to pick that one up. The turret finally going down in the bot lane, so it's, wow, this has just been a really one-sided game, I have to say, especially in this bot lane with our featured matchup of Quinn versus Caitlyn. And it looks like we're getting another invade going on. At least picking up this red buff is going to give it to Caitlyn, which is just going to be absolutely terrifying for this bot lane to deal with. Leona coming in here to try to spot out what's going on. The Sona ultimate is going to come out. That crescendo landing on Leona. Caitlyn doing her best to slow her down with that red buff proc. The built over piecemeal landing on her, but it doesn't look like they have enough damage to actually take down the Leona. She is going to escape from that one, and they're just going to kind of continue in this jungle. I don't think they're necessarily worried about picking up that kill because Caitlyn did have her flash. Sona did have her flash. They're more worried about just constantly getting this lane dominance and really putting the blue team on the back foot. But Quinn is just going to do her best at farming and trying to keep up with this Caitlyn, who's currently so far ahead, nearly 40 CS ahead of this Quinn. But it looks like we have an ultimate from the Fiddlesticks into the mid lane. The Fear going down, the Flash coming out as well, and the Drain. Looks like somebody's going to pick this up. OP Google on that jungle. Fiddlesticks is going to be the keeper of that kill. Fiddlesticks doing a pretty decent job getting his ultimates out when he needs to, getting the kills from that, really making sure that his roam is not completely wasted. But even with those couple of kills picked up, it's still 3-7 in favor of that purple team. 17.8k to 13.4k. Definitely a big difference. And what I really want to see is this difference in gold between Quinn and Caitlyn. 2,739 for the Quinn, and 3,713. So 1,000 gold difference in favor of Caitlyn. That's a huge difference right now. Looks like we just have the bottom lane pushing up, so just going to avoid that for a second, see what's going on in the other lanes. Teemo doing a pretty good job pushing up this Riven. The stun coming down, the turret is currently hitting, and wow, it's a pretty fail ult coming out of that Riven, not hitting the Teemo at all. But it looks like the kill just went down onto the Fiddlesticks. I do just kind of want to see what's happening here, because this was the part of the bot lane that picked up that kill. Sadly, it was onto the Sona, but it looks like Fiddle just getting caught out of position by this Elise. Sona coming down, her crescendo is up, but they don't even need the crescendo, and it was just kind of a random Q that got that kill for Sona. But we now have Quinn still just pushing down in that bot lane against the Ziggs, but Ziggs coming down to defend that one. Quinn's not going to be able to go anywhere against that Ziggs, who's doing pretty well in that mid lane. 92 CS, 2-2-1. So really keeping his name in the hat, while Fizz, on the other hand, 37 CS. So it's very lucky that he got those 2 assists from the Fiddle ganks, or else he would just be completely out of this game, because he has not been able to land a damn thing with that Ziggs poke going down on him. Leona doing what she can do with that Relic Shield proc. The ultimate coming out of the Fizz onto the Caitlyn is just going to kind of run away from this one, not really doing much of anything in terms of damage to the Kate. She's still over half HP. And it looks like during all of that, Riven has managed to come down into this mid lane. But look at the damage coming down. So Sona is going to be taken down by the Fizz, still managing to do a decent amount of damage. Quinn's ultimate has been popped, and he's going to get right on into the Caitlyn. The stun from Leona, great Zenith Blade is coming out with the ultimate. The Quinn picking up that kill onto the Caitlyn. So at least there's a couple things happening here. But Fizz picking up the kill onto the Fiddlesticks. The ultimate coming down. A great playful Trickster is actually going to dodge the damage from that Ziggs ultimate. And they're going to survive that one. So picking up a couple kills. 2 for 1, not too bad of a trade, but while all this is going on, Teemo's just been in this top lane, and he's going to start pushing down this second tier turret. And definitely not something that you want to have happen. He's going to probably take this down to nearly a quarter HP, I would think, if he doesn't take it down fully. But Teemo just having his shrooms all set up, you can definitely see all of his shrooms up in that top lane. Pretty much impossible to gank when he gets up towards his turret. He will definitely see anything coming his way. I don't know if that blue buff was supposed to be taken by the, well, yeah, it looks like it was smited away. I was surprised not to see them give that buff over to Teemo, who's currently having quite a great game, sitting at 104 CS to 61 of the Riven, 2-1-0. He's starting to kind of dominate his lane a little bit more, and he's going back to lane now, picking up a Deathfire Grasp. Now, I am actually stoked to see a Deathfire Grasp Teemo. That is something that I have never seen. So he's going to have to really hope that his damage is up there with that Deathfire Grasp to really blow somebody up. But I never really knew Teemo for building a Deathfire Grasp even when he's ahead. So look forward to seeing what that's going to be like. We have a 7.5k gold lead in favor of this purple team right now. Caitlyn now back into the bot lane. Quinn was trying to farm as much as she could, but not really amounting to anything. Teemo now chasing down this Riven. I want to see the Deathfire Grasp. Come on, Teemo. Looks like Riven just running away from this one, using her third Q proc to get over that turret, but looks like nothing's going to end up happening on that one. The purple team pinging down this Fizz, who they do see with that nice stray ward. And Quinn is now up against a 2v1. Even with all her solo time farming, she's still over 40 CS behind this Caitlyn. Just barely finished her Bloodthirster. And that's going up against a Bloodthirster, tier 2 boots, and that Doran's Blade of the Caitlyn. So, tough position to be in as the Quinn. Using her vision to try to see if anybody's coming in. Luckily, the Ziggs actually is coming, so hopefully they got vision of that one, and hopefully they'll be able to avoid this gank. As we can see, Fiddlesticks and Fizz are both heading their way down here to maybe try to prevent this from happening, and it looks like their presence is going to actually prevent this, but purple team is just kind of taking the golems, sitting around, waiting to see what's going to happen. But they are going to stay here, which is the big thing. So the Sona crescendo is coming out. A lot of damage going down onto the Leona. The stun coming out, hitting 2 people, which is a very actually good Leona ultimate there. But the problem is you don't get any kills out of that, and it doesn't prevent the turret push coming out of this purple team. And while all this is going on, Riven actually killed the Teemo, probably with a nice Fiddlesticks ultimate. But as this is all going on, the second tier turret has been taken down for that purple team. And they're just going to push right on into this inhibitor turret. And you guys, you have to remember, as one-sided as this has been, this is only almost 16 minutes into the game, and this purple team is already on the inhibitor turret. Fizz using his ultimate, going to actually hit a couple people, but Fizz is now going to have to jump away from this one using his Playful Trickster, and that ultimate not really doing much of anything to the majority of this purple team. And it looks like now the blue team is now just going to be on wave clear duty, which none of these guys are particularly good at. So the purple team is just going to be able to sit here and poke down this turret. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage to it. I don't know if they're actually going to stay and tank this one up. It is still very early in the game. No one's really that tanky to be able to tank this turret up. Fizz is now back at full health. Fiddlesticks coming in with his home guard boots. And it looks like Fizz is trying to do some damage. Elise is going to come back in. The crescendo, sorry, the ace in the hole and the Ziggs bomb is going to come out. Going to kill the Fizz. And this is going to be probably a free turret for the purple team. And this has all been like 4v4. It's been fairly even, but they're just so far ahead. Riven is now freakishly low, and she's going to have to run. The Ziggs bomb is not going to hit with that flash, and the inhibitor is going to go down. This is a 17-minute inhibitor that these guys are going to take down, and Teemo's not even with them. Teemo is just kind of pushing the mid lane, and he's going to start doing some damage to this mid inhibitor turret. So, man, how do you deal with this when you can't even fight these guys 5v4? They're that far ahead. A couple Teemo shrooms and a great Zenith Blade actually landing onto the Teemo. The Playful Trickster being used by the Fizz, but now it leaves him with no escape, and he's going to be taken down by the Ziggs. The Deathfire Grasp being used by the Teemo, so definitely helping out there. But a great Solar Flare being used by Leona, but nothing to follow it up on. It was mainly just a defensive Solar Flare to stop people from chasing. And now it looks like the purple team is just rotating up to this mid lane to start doing damage to it because the AP carry from the blue team has been killed. So they're just getting some free damage onto this turret. Super minions are now starting to push down on that bottom lane. Probably the first wave of them right there. Yep, they have not yet reached the turret, so they don't really have the pressure in the bot lane yet. But there's the inhibitor turret taken down for the purple team 17.5 minutes into the game. That's a second inhibitor turret. 7 turrets to 0. 33.6k to 22.5. It's just been a very, very one-sided game for this this purple team, and sadly Quinn has not really been able to show her stuff. Getting absolutely destroyed in the bot lane from this Caitlyn Sona combo, and it looks like we're gonna try a duo on this Baron. Teemo was taken down in the mid jungle, sorry, the mid kind of jungle, but looks like the the duo of Caitlyn and Elise are not going to be enough to take down that Baron. They're just going to run away from this one. Ziggs is now here, but nobody's tanky enough to actually take down that Baron. It is an 18.5 minute Baron, guys. Like, this is so early on in the game that all this stuff is happening. But it's just been so one-sided. And with all that gold, people are now going back to pick up their items. Interesting Elise build, I have to say. Going for that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Really kind of wanting those Qs to slow people down and improve the chase ability of Elise when she starts getting the damage out. Does have those Magic Pen boots, definitely important on Elise. But there's nothing really to be said about the featured matchup, because right now the featured matchup is getting stomped by the more conventional pick. But it looks like Riven might be in a bad situation here, using her third proc cover Q to get over that wall. Should be able to escape that one pretty handily. Fizz jumping over the wall as well, getting away from that. And it looks like the purple team is now setting up for the Baron. I don't know if they're actually going to attempt this one, but kind of an interesting play, I have to say. We've seen so many teams, especially Dignitas, and it happening just recently, where they're so far ahead, they do the Baron, it ends up getting stolen, and then it leads to kind of a comeback for the blue team. But looks like Riven getting caught out here. The Elise Rylai's is going to actually slow her down quite a bit. The Flash having to come out of the Elise. The Fiddlesticks is now here trying to silence people. It's not going to be enough. The Deathfire Grasp out of the Teemo. Come on, there. It's not actually out yet, but Fiddlesticks taking a ton of damage. The Elise is going to pick up that double kill. And there's going to be the 8th turret of the game for the purple team. Quinn has just been down here farming the entire time, and even with her farming all the time by herself, is still over 30 CS behind the Caitlyn. So currently this unconventional pick is not working against a much more conventional LCS pick of Caitlyn. But it looks like the inhibitor might be taken down. The ultimate coming out of the Fizz. Teemo being... Oh, nope. It looks like the surrender is going to come out. We're just going to see the Riven standing in the lane. Oh, look at this. I have camera control. What the hell? Oh, my God. Camera control. Look at this. So I don't think I've ever seen me be able to move the camera around. But Quinn, in her ultimate right now, really did not pan out for her. So far behind the Caitlyn Sona lane. They did a pretty good job trying to hang in there, but they were just dominated. Every lane was really dominated, so kind of a one-sided game, but hopefully you guys got to see that Quinn action against the Caitlyn. So if you guys like this video, show that like button some love, subscribe if you want some more videos and you want to see more videos, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that High ELO Champions game. Let me know any criticism you might have and whether or not watching that champion play in the lane was better than what I was previously doing. So once again, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.